I think maybe Sal Churi maybe suggested I ask you this. Somewhere I think I saw you say it's good to be bored in church.
Yes.
Tell me about being bored in church.
Jews and Catholics have this in common where the practice of going to church is actually just as important as the belief. When I said before, the most important, political act that I've had is actually moving to Florida. It's not something I believe, but it's something that I have done. For Catholics, the practice of going to church matters. And so even if you're not paying attention or you're bored or you don't necessarily feel like going that day, the fact that you are going to church and that you are engaging in a practice is actually part of the meditation. It is part of the prayer. One of the things that I think I hear, a lot of young parents say is like, oh, my children are like way too young to go to church. I don't get anything out of church. If I take them to church, all I'm doing, and it is like embarrassing to watch us in the back of church. We sit in the very back of church with two boys. They can sit still for 90 seconds and we feed them like constantly, like we're giving them lollipops. We're doing all these things to just keep them quiet. We're one of the only young families in this church. Even though I don't get to pay attention the way that I would love to, or I'm not sitting there in solemn prayer or like really, getting the spiritual experience. The fact that I am bringing my children to church and that every week they are going to learn something new. Maybe it's that my 4-year-old will actually kneel down for 10 seconds this time, right? Like it's like that they are actually learning and engaging in something, knowing that we are a family that goes to church. It is important. There's a huge debate among, like, I would say even among Catholics, but definitely in Protestant churches about whether you should, force your children to sit through something boring. And I think the boredom is part of it. Sometimes we do things that are boring. Sometimes you have to be quiet if you're in a place of worship. Like learning that as early as possible is actually a very good thing for their development.
And to that, I'll say amen.